there's a crew in town. The head hillbillies are making their rounds. Small town whispers loud and clear. The sheriff shot the judge in his chambers chair.
Sheriff got a secret he won't keep. Judge shot dead in his disbelief. A lot of people have some stories to tell. Dog passed away, get the sound of a shotgun shell.
All the secrets spill on down. Voices loud in this old town. From the courthouse to the ground. Rumors fly and they can't be bound.
Neighbors hide behind their blinds. Whisper tales of troubled minds. Skeletons covering the mountainside. A treacherous reality in the pines.
Winter reveals the hidden lies. Moonlight couldn't match the cries. Shadows caught in sunlit skies. There's no cover, no disguise. All the secrets spill on down. Voices loud in this old town. From the courthouse to the ground. Rumors fly and they can't be
Good evening, everybody. Hey, y'all. How are you this evening? Welcome to the show. Thank you, sister. Thank you. Welcome. So, for the last week, if you've been following our shows, I have been talking about, we've got a lot of new viewers. So if you are new to our show, welcome to our channel, our Hillbilly True Crime channel. My name is Elizabeth, and this is Hillbilly Crime. I've been kind of talking about how we've got a lot of new viewers, and so they probably weren't here whenever we went through the recordings, the interviews, the work chat, and I don't think we ever did that. I don't think we ever really went through a lot of the work chat that Mickey and a lot of them had. There were several people that were in there. Let's see. I've got the Facebook business record. So we're going to listen to all of it. Like, we're going to do a complete review on all of the audios and the interviews, okay? We have, I think, 3 audios from Sabrina Adkins. We have, I think, 2 audios from Jennifer Hill. And then we have 1 from Ben Fields. And they were all given under Detective Matt Easter from the Kentucky Attorney General's office. So we are going to listen to them. I don't really know which one we should start with. Maybe we should just start with Sabrina's. Mm.
Because of the ankle bracelets, or was that I had to because of the charges? Because you just mentioned you weren't worried about the charges, you were worried about the ankle bracelet. So, so the ankle bracelet, so the process of
Let me go push it back. Sometimes they started.
We have is on hold in our entire office.
no, I understand.
I work for that well.
I mean, I do get that.
And actually, no, they
You said-
put it with the body act when we got off the airplane.
You all notice, if you can hear, that's the one that I said you can hear Ned Pillersdorf and the other detective in the room. And they are just right on top of this interview. You really can't hear it very well. And it kind of sounds like that's not the very first one. So let me grab this other one and see if it's the first. They may have had them backwards.
It's never been turned on. Now, the original one was, and I push it and open it, take it on and off.
So you've brought an ankle monitor, and he gave this to you?
Yeah, that's what I went to jail with.
That's what you had on when you went to jail?
Mhm. And I didn't know what to do with it.
But that's not been on as far as you know?
No, it's never been on.
And when you said, like, when you started this, the flirtation, I guess, you had your bracelet on.
Yes,
So when you got out of jail, you met him,
he met me at the jail with the bracelet.
met Ben,
Mhm.
right
Right at the jail,
at the jail, as soon as you got out.
yes,
He put your bracelet on.
yes,
So you kept your bracelet on for a while.
yes.
Then the relationship developed.
Mhm.
How long after the relationship developed, like from the time you got out of jail, from the time that he first took your bracelet off?
I'd say 6 weeks, because I told the court I wanted to go to rehab. And I couldn't afford to, the bracelet, and I put in motion after motion. And finally they said I could go to rehab, but still had to pay for it. And that was the original reason, I think anyway, in my head, or I want to believe that he took it off, is I was going to go to rehab.
Did she just say that she could go to rehab, but that she had to pay for it? I think that's what she said. And I don't think that that's exactly the way that that was set up. We've got to remember these interviews were done in 2022. Ben did not get sentenced and serve his sentence until the beginning of 2024. All of these interviews happened before the criminal investigation. I don't know if these interviews were done before the criminal investigation started, but it wasn't much of a criminal investigation. There's another audio that we're going to listen to too of hers, and it must be the first one because this one is later. But you're going to hear all through this one that we're on now and the other one. You're going to hear how this detective he pushes the narrative towards her having the responsibility here, not Ben. And I want you to also pay attention to how his demeanor is with her, and you're also going to hear it with Jennifer, and then pay attention to how his demeanor is with Ben. It's unbelievable.
So the court system allowed you to go to rehab.
Yes, they think I had my bracelet on. The court never knew my bracelet was off, ever. Well, I'm told the judge. He would meet me the day before, and actually the second time I got arrested for driving in Pike County, I had court that day, and I was late, and he lied to the judge and told him I had to pull a sanction for something, before, and they had a special hearing for me at 2 o'clock that day.
So you're out. He about 6 weeks after you get out, you meet him.
Mhm.
Is that one of the first encounters? You told me
That
last
was
time you had
first.
3 encounters with him of a sexual relationship. When the first one, is that when he took the bracelet off?
Yeah. Yeah.
So from the time you got out of jail, approximately 6 weeks after that is when the first sexual encounter took place, and he removed the bracelet.
Mhm.
All right, what did he do with that bracelet? Did he give it to you to say hold on to, or did he just keep it?
He kept it. He usually kept it every time. When I had told him that, and telling on him, I said, "You better give me a bracelet," and that's when he gave me this one.
I mean, they tried every way in the world not to believe this. It's been reported to drug
All right, so
dealers.
now after the 6 weeks, you've met him. He's took your bracelet off. Does he ever put it back on?
The day before court, I usually meet him the night before court, fight court.
It's like if you had like just a court date on your regular charge, did you call and say, hey, I've got a court date?
And he called me too. I mean, we called each other because I'm real big on keeping my court dates. And he said, meet me at, 8 o'clock at the courthouse or, whatever. Or I'll leave the courthouse unlocked and I'll be there shortly. And it was always the night before my court hearings.
How many court days do you remember having to do that?
At least, probably hit 4 or 5 because I've made 3 different motions myself. So that's my regular.
Now, every court date, was there a sexual relationship that occurred
No.
prior?
No.
So you may have court tomorrow and you just may meet him real quick somewhere and he'd throw it back on.
Yeah. But we always met at the courthouse, always.
Always at the courthouse.
Yeah, in the judge's chambers, always.
Even to put it on.
Yes. Mm-hmm. And take it off, always there.
Okay, so now we're going to court. He has met you at the courthouse the night before.
Mhm.
Is that typically how it went?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Puts the bracelet back on. You go to court. Then what happens?
I'd call him when I get out of court. Where do you want me to meet you to get this bracelet? Once he let me actually cut it off. Because he couldn't make me.
So you meet him back at the courthouse the day after court or that day or
Yeah.
something?
Yeah.
And then he would take the bracelet back off
Mm-hmm. And keep it.
and he would keep it.
Mhm.
Now, as far as you know, how do you know the bracelets are on or off?
There's usually a light and you have a charger, you got to charge them.
Okay, so when you get out, he puts that first bracelet on. That's
Mhm.
6 weeks that's on you. Are you paying that fee?
Mhm.
So you paid it for 6 weeks.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
All right. So then you meet him. You had a sexual relationship. He takes the bracelet off. When he puts it back on, do you have to charge that? Do you think the bracelet was on?
No.
You think he's turned it off?
Yeah.
So the rest of the time, it's turned off.
Yeah, because usually Patty calls you, says you charge your bracelet or, Patty's
this-
real big on
The
calling.
bracelet that you have there,
Mhm.
that was one of those last times that you've met him, you've had court, he's gave you that
No,
bracelet?
not for court. I called him and told him I thought I was going to tell. And I said, you better give me a bracelet, something what, I was scared to death. I didn't know what to do. And so I made him give me a bracelet for that reason.
So once, like you said there yesterday or the day before yesterday, you said that we found out your boyfriend, talking about, right?
Mm-hmm.
You let Ben know, and that's when everything, so then you said, hey, everybody knows about us and our relationship. You told him that, right?
Now, I want to stop this and let you know that one of the biggest pet peeves, and I can't speak for Sabrina, okay? But I have spoken to Sabrina. I speak to her all the time. And one of the things that Sabrina really, really has a hard time with, me too. Now, I've said it from the get-go. It's one of the biggest pet peeves I've got, is how this Detective Easter keeps calling it a relationship. Sabrina has never called it a relationship. Nobody else ever called this a relationship. They did not tell this guy, oh, we were dating. Like, he even asks her, he asks both of them, would you have been with Ben if it was under different circumstances? If you had met him somewhere else, would you have entertained a relationship with him? And they were all like, no, we wouldn't. No. He frames these interviews, and it's the words that he uses. I have been very critical from the get-go. Why did they send a middle-aged old man to do these interviews with victims of sexual abuse, especially when they are accusing such a high level, group of people, right? You would think that they would want their top sex trafficking task force people. You would think that they would want their most experienced detectives on that case, but they didn't. They sent Matt Easter, who is one of their very popular detectives that they like to use here in Eastern Kentucky. But it makes me wonder why. After we listen to all of these, we see why. We see why. Because he's a good old boy that talks real slow and he has a mountain accent. And he was good at using his words to frame a victim's testimony. And you can notice it. I mean, it's plain as day listening to these interviews.
And then you tell Ben, I need a bracelet.
Yeah.
Okay.
Exactly. Exactly. Would they have sent a woman to interview a man? No, they wouldn't.
What did he tell you about that? Did he say anything? Hey, you need a bracelet, I'll get this to you, or did he just, what?
No, I told him that, and he said, where are you going to be at this evening? And I went and met him. Give him a bracelet. He really didn't say a whole lot about, telling or, going to tell. He didn't give any kind of opinion on it at all. He'd always tell me to stay away from her bed or blah, blah, blah,
Did, was that bracelet active?
I've never had a charger. There's no way it could be, you know, as long as I've had it.
Now, the other day you said that the reason that you started the relationship with Ben is because you had heard rumors.
Now, did you hear that? Did you hear that? You told me the other day that you started the relationship with Ben because you heard rumors. Do you see how he did that? He took the responsibility now from Ben propositioning these women as they got out of jail. And remember, they had no choice. They had no choice. Jennifer Hill already found out. She found out the first time she was sent to house arrest. He propositioned her on her way out of the jail. She turned him down. She told him no, that they could pay for her fee. He had her arrested and took back to jail that same night. And she spent 3 months, and there wasn't no do-overs. She couldn't change her mind then and say, oh, okay, well, I'll do it now. No, that didn't happen. She had to spend 3 months in jail. And then the following year, she gets arrested for something else. She gets house arrest. And this time, as he propositions her on her way out of the jail, she knows not to turn him down. Every time I listen to this, y'all are just going to have to deal with it if you want to listen. It makes me so upset to see how this detective framed and changed. I mean, he's the one who, and I feel like Ned Pillersdorf also did that as their lawyer on the other side. I think that's why Mickey was not named in his individual capacity in that civil lawsuit. And I think that's why the judge was not named in his official capacity, because it was his chambers. And as we see the videos from the day of the shooting, he absolutely created an environment, a work environment that was just so laxy-daisy, you know. The prosecutor, his prosecutor brother-in-law, who at the time was a defense attorney, he was not a prosecutor, but yet he was in there in the smoke room with his feet all kicked up on the table like he owned the place, you know. You had Ben Fields's wife sitting right there. I mean, and I don't buy the excuse that Pillersdorf has given, which was you have to have good faith to name somebody in a lawsuit. Well, you see that Judge Mullins's wife, the lawyers that are representing her, well, they named everybody in the sheriff's department just about it, in both their official and their individual capacities. We know that's what they're supposed to do. And I'm gonna bet that Ned Pillersdorf, you know, King Pillersdorf of southeastern Kentucky, I guarantee you he knew that too.
That if you had relationships with him, or that you could, you know, wouldn't have to pay your fees and wouldn't have to wear the bracelet, and you can do what you want. And you gave me a name, but that you don't know her personally. Do you know anybody personally, like that you know that this has happened to, or is this just rumors you heard in the jail?
Just rumors. And I know that Chad Brown, he went on house arrest, but he does have some videotapes of some stuff in the judge's chambers.
What kind of stuff?
Just with girls, sexual and stuff.
What describe? Have you seen the videos?
I've seen one partly, and you know, just them having sex with girls for their bail to get out of jail.
Who was having sex?
Ben and just some higher ups up there.
Who?
The judge and.
You saw the video.
Mhm.
What did you see on the video? I mean, you
I mean, I've seen Judge Mullins having sex with a girl.
who was the girl?
I don't know. Because I don't know a lot of people from over there.
Now, let me stop that again. Did you hear what she said? She said, I saw Judge Mullins having sex with a girl. She said, I saw it. So, you know, newspaper man that likes to put it in the Eagle. She said that Chad Brown had videos, but Chad Brown said he only had an audio. Well, Sabrina plainly says right here, I have seen a video. We've heard in our investigation, Lexi Bentley had videos. Lexi Bentley took the videos, or at least she took one that we know of, that she went around and told people that she blackmailed allegedly the judge with to get money to pay on her fines and pay on whatever else she owed money for down at the courthouse. Probation fees, drug court fees. I don't know. I don't know what she was on. I don't know if she was on probation. I don't know if she was in drug court. I don't know. She may not have been on any of that. We were also told that Lexi Bentley sent that video to many people. She was not a dumb girl. She was very smart. Lexi just went through, she had one hell of a life. And nobody ever, you know, and you learn how to survive. You don't become a victim and stay a victim, especially somebody like Lexi Bentley. Lexi Bentley had to learn to survive. So whenever you grow up as an addict, an addicted child, you grow into an addicted adult, a very damaged and broken one. And yes, she stole off people. She robbed them blind. She lied. She traded herself for anything she could get. Yes, she did. Yes, she did. Bless her heart. But I just pray. I pray that God has mercy on her soul. You know, the ones that are broken and beaten down the worst are the ones that are going to be laying at Jesus's feet. They're the ones that all these self-righteous Christians look down their nose at, you know. And they look at Sabrina. They look at Jennifer. They look at me the same way. You know, people are not gonna, they have made enemies, you know, like if you stole off somebody, well, somebody that you stole off of, then they're not gonna like you very well. I know Taya catches a lot of hell. She catches a lot of backlash. And not everybody's gonna like us. That's just part of life. That's fine. People don't have to like us. I know that I did a lot of things when I was in my active addiction that hurt people and made people mad. But, you know, I had to ask them to forgive me, and I asked God to forgive me, and that's, you know, that's where we're at. People can either forgive you or they don't. I struggle with forgiving people. I struggle with it. I'm not going to pretend like I don't. I struggle. I'm human.
Where was it at?
In his office, in the judge's chambers.
Is that the same place that you were meeting Ben? Is that how you know it was a judge in chambers? And this was Judge who?
Mullins.
But you don't know who the girl was. and what was this guy's name again?
Chad Brown.
Do you know Chad Brown?
Yeah, I do. He's on the run. He's hiding. They shot at him and everything.
Who has?
The Letcher County Sheriff's Department trying to catch him.
What was he on the run for?
I don't know. I really did that. I don't know.
She was victimized all over again with this interview. Absolutely. Every single time she had to talk to this guy, she was victimized all over again. And he's the one who did it. He's the one who did it. But I guarantee you that the governor's office and the attorney general's office, these men who run these offices, they're like, oh, well, we didn't do anything wrong. We did everything that we could. We did everything that we could. How about sending a competent sexual abuse investigator? Huh? How about that? How about sending somebody that wouldn't go down and taint the entire investigation? How about that? That might have been a really smart thing to do. But no, whenever we are arranging a cover-up and trying to manipulate from the inside, this is exactly how that happens.
Why would he have a video of the judge having sex with
He's
somebody?
got several. I don't know how he got them. I didn't ask. Because listen, I know too much over there, and that is a dirty place. I try not to know. I don't know how he got them. But he does have some. And he's got an attorney that I can't remember, maybe in Somerset, that knows about it too.
But you saw the video
I saw him on video.
of the judge. Any other videos that you actually?
And he just confirmed it a second time right there. He said, you saw a video? And she said, yes, I saw the video. I saw the video.
So
No. They say that the Sheriff Mickey Steins is involved. I don't know.
who said that?
Chad, he said he had videos with Mickey. Mickey used to do the same thing when he was over house arrest.
So in case anybody didn't hear that, there's dogs out here barking like crazy. She said that Chad had all kinds of videos. He had more than one. And that he said he had some, or had of Mickey. That Mickey was just as bad as Ben. And that they have proof. Now, I know, or at least from what I've been told, Chad did have these videos. Now, I don't know if he still has them now or not. But I do know that there is somebody that has some that came from somewhere. Somebody had some of these videos, and they ended up going to jail. Well, when they went to jail, all of their stuff was at these people's house. You know, a lot of these people that are in and out of jail here don't have a home. A lot of them are homeless. A lot of them are just staying wherever they can, you know, wherever somebody is kind enough to let them stay. And so whenever this person went to jail, their stuff was left at somebody's house. And this person went through that stuff and they found the videos. And they've got them. We haven't got our hands on them yet. People are scared. Somebody else has one of Lexi's videos. Or at least they claim to. But they won't let go of it because they're afraid that it will get them unalived. But If you have anything like that, you can give it to me. Nobody will ever know that it came from you. No one will ever know where they came from. But it's kind of like the Holy Grail right now. Every network, everybody that I know that has been on this case is looking for those videos.
And then Chad has, so you've not seen any videos of Ben,
No.
but you just saw the judge.
Right.
Do you know for sure that was the judge?
Yes.
I mean, how do you know that's the judge?
I've been in front of him. His face is pretty clear on there.
But you don't know who the female was.
No.
Would Chad be willing to meet me? Could you get a hold of him and maybe even let him call me? Or
Now, see, this is another thing that I have a really big problem with. Why are they asking her to do their job for them? That's not her job. She's not the investigator. She shouldn't have to go dig up all of the statements and all of the evidence. That's not her job. But guess what? If you need something like that and you are you're a victim, you better get your own stuff. If you have a pair of panties that has biological evidence on them, stick them in a Ziploc bag, put the date on that Ziploc bag. Anything like that. If you have it, which I'm no lawyer, but protect yourself, because none of these cops, investigators, none of them are going to protect us as women. The prosecutors, the judges, none of them are going to protect us. We better protect ourselves, educate ourselves, and know what to do if and when something ever happens like that. Gather your own evidence. That's my suggestion.
could you get him to send you those? Is it on his phone or
No, they're cassette tapes.
they're cassette tapes? Like a cassette, did you,
VHS.
like a VHS, like a big one?
Yeah, big one. He goes back a long time. I don't know. He's just good, but he's got videotapes. He said for last 15 years. I don't know. I've seen.
Now, just to back up on what she's saying there, you guys see how far in the dark ages we are in these mountains, especially down there at the courthouse, because they're not spending no money to upgrade any equipment. You better believe that. They're not going to spend a dime on any new anything that they don't have to. So I guarantee you that in 15 years, whenever I bought this little house here, I bought it 2 years ago, and a little old man lived in it. And when we cleaned it all out, he still had a VHS player in this house that he used. He even had an 8-track tape, an 8-track player that he used. So that is not far-fetched that they would have VHS tapes of stuff like this. A lot of these men like the orno pay, okay? So I guarantee you that's what their orno pay was probably on for a long time, was VHS tapes. I bet they've got old ones, really old ones, of old DD's private parties. I bet you. I bet they were, because think about it. They all had money when nobody else had money. And, video has really only been out like the handheld camcorder and stuff like that. I bet you I can see it in my mind right now. Everybody at them fancy private parties at the gingerbread house, and somebody pulls out the camcorder, walks around the house with that camcorder. I can see it now. So I believe it. I absolutely believe it. I want my hands on
One
them.
for sure.
And when did you see? How long's that been?
A couple months ago.
Do you think that you could get that video?
Maybe. I got to go over that way today to the doctor. I'm scared to death, but I'll try because I was planning on see Chad. Or at least maybe try to talk to him and tell him call you. Something. I was going to have him call my attorney because Bethany was wanting to talk to him. But he's real, skittish and stuff and hides everywhere. And I don't blame him,
Well, yeah, obviously, but if you could get that video
I'll try.
or videos of anything that you think is necessary.
But that won't, nobody who won't say that I got it right. I mean, that place is dirty over there. And, it kind of scares me.
I understand. Which we're not saying the judge has done anything wrong.
Right, exactly.
I'm
getting you a video and you think.
Did you hear that? He says that to her. Now, she just got done saying that she saw a video of the judge having sex with a girl for her charges. And what does he say? We're not saying the judge has done anything wrong. Nope, we're not. What? What?
It's your call.
Um,
What happened? It might have been his girlfriend. I don't know.
Now, do you see? She gets nervous there because he said that. She gets nervous and she starts backpedaling. Oh, yeah. Can you imagine being Sabrina in this situation, and you're trying to give your impact state, or not your impact statement, but you're trying to give your statement on such a huge accusation and issue, right? And he says, we're not saying the judge did anything wrong. Now, how do you think that absorbed in her mind? And she had to think fast and respond. And did you hear how she responded? Oh, yeah. That could have even been his girlfriend. It could have been. It could have been his girlfriend. I mean, she didn't say it like that, but she did say it like that. Let's listen to it again. 40. Let's listen to this again.
I mean, that place is dirty over there. And, it kind of scares me.
I understand. Which we're not saying the judge has done anything wrong.
Right, exactly.
I'm
getting you a video and you think it's your call. What happened? It might have been his girlfriend. I don't know. Like I said, my only goal is to make sure this don't happen to somebody else. I struggle with it real bad.
She has said that so many times. That's all Sabrina cares about, is that this never happens to nobody else again. You guys haven't seen Sabrina out on any shows. You ain't seen her out there, in any aspect, in any negative light. Sabrina's a hero. She's the hero of this entire story. She really is. She has been devastated. Her life has been just absolutely turned upside down. She's been traumatized beyond trauma. And for this detective to do this to her is absolutely unacceptable. He needs his ass fired. If I was an attorney general, honey, but they're all in on it. They all knew exactly. This was his mission. His mission was to make sure that these interviews did not cast the judge in any negative light. They were trying their very best to work it to where they could get that guilty plea from Ben, let him take the fall, and everybody else would be free in the clear. That's what they did. And it worked.
And that's what we're trying to figure out is, the rumors, who I could go talk to else other than you. That's why I'm asking.
There is what is that girl's name I was in jail with? Let me turn on my phone because she messaged me that Ben had made sexual advances towards her.
She did. Her lawyer was there, Smicky. Her lawyer set all this up. Her lawyer was Ned Pillersdorf. Now, Bethany Baxter was her like lead. That was the first attorney that she had gotten. But then they brought in Ned, and Ned basically took over, I don't know if he took it over, but he's went out on the media tour and kind of presented it in the way like he was leading the charge on this case, and that he was doing everything that he could for the women, the victims of sexual abuse by the legal system in Letcher County. Bullshit. Forgive me, Lord, but that's the biggest bunch of BS I've ever heard in my life. You see exactly what these men did. I don't have I do not have a very high opinion right now of any of these men. None of them. If you can do this and then go home and lay your head down at night in your big 4-post bed in your probably $500,000 home, if you can sleep at night, then I guess you are one of those people whose conscience is seared. That's who you are. You can't trust your own lawyer.
Once you leave here today, what is going to be the best number to get up with you?
I had another phone and it was messed up. I had all this time with telephone.
And there was somebody called me and said that you were going to be late. I forgot it.
Landlord.
Your landlord. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's at the address.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yes, it's not connected to the internet, it says.
And to clarify, when Ben's uncle started calling you, and
Uncle Bill.
what did Ben tell you when you confronted Ben and said, "Hey, your uncle's calling me"? What did he say?
Really not much. He said that he's a man who can help, because I was worried to death about my charges over there, being on this house arrest. He said, no, he can help with your charges. And
That's all he said.
Yeah. Or I'd say, your uncle's perfect. And he'd say, yeah, and he kind of laugh. That's usually it.
She said, in case you didn't catch that, she said she was worried to death about her charges over here because she was not from Letcher County, okay? She was from Pike County, I guess. Pike or Floyd, one of those. They said Jennifer Hill was from Letcher County. She was from Thornton, I think, is where they said. But Sabrina was not. So she didn't have anywhere to stay here. She didn't have any place to live here. And they were going to make her stay in Letcher County to be on house arrest. She was worried about it. Ben says, you go see my Uncle Bill Meade. He can help you with your charges. Well, why do you think he could help her with her charges? Because he was really, really connected. Uncle Bill was the fire chief at one of the local fire departments. His brother was he owned a big coal company and is a millionaire and has been for decades, I reckon. And he was also very, very good friends with Edison Banks. Yes, he was. The Commonwealth attorney. He was really, really good friends with him. So, and apparently a little girl who was like 14, okay, he told her that he would, I guess, give her money to get her hair done, or no, get her nails done and get a dress for her school. She had like a school dance, homecoming, prom, something like that. And he told her to come see him at the fire department. She could wash one of the fire trucks and make the money to get her nails done and get her a dress. So she goes and she records it. She records it. And so he gets caught coming on and touching this child at the fire department. Why wasn't there a civil lawsuit on her behalf? Because he went to prison. He's in prison right now for touching a 14-year-old child. Yes, a child. And of course, he goes in front of Judge Jimmy Kraft. And he thought he was so above the law that he didn't even show up for his trial. I'm 85 years old, Uncle Bill. She goes, so she says, he's a pervert. Your uncle's a pervert. And he just laughs and says, yeah, I know. You still need to go see him, though.
But he never told you to do any kind of sexual favors with him for is there any, did Ben ever send you any pictures or anything of him?
No.
Is there any of the messages, because there's a bunch, I've not had a chance to go through them, that Ben talks about having a sexual relationship with you or anything that I need to really, like when I go through the messages,
Right.
and if I don't see something, I don't want to make sure I don't want to miss anything. So I'm trying to, is there anything in there that he always said, anything sexual in nation towards you that he sent to you?
No, not really, because he'd usually call. Because one thing, and that was probably a couple of weeks ago, he told me that he sounds always had Norris do like the physical part of like the drugs and everything. And he said he has me on telephones. He said, so never put nothing on the phone. You don't want nobody to see. So it's usually, so he would always, most time he would call. The most we texted was at the beginning, and then he got to where he called. So
So Ben told her not to ever put anything on the phone that you didn't want anybody to see. It would have been great if they'd take their own advice, wouldn't it? But they all think that they're never going to get caught. They've all got really bad egos, or really big egos, I should say. They all think they won't get caught.
Oh, I won't switch over. Hold on.
So he told you never to put anything on the phone?
Yes. That's when that Justin Lucas had got arrested. And he called and told me, hey, he's got arrested, he's a rat. You know, same as.
So, what did she say? When Justin Lucas got arrested, he called her and said he's a rat. Don't be talking to him. Watch out. See, that's how he would groom these women. He would tell them where all the best dope was. He would tell them who was ratting, who was turning state's evidence with the prosecutors and the police. I mean, that alone should be a crime. If you are disclosing that kind of information gets people killed, doesn't it? How does that work in your neck of the woods when people turn state's evidence? Especially on drug dealers. I thought so too. I thought that was all set up looking for those videos.
Now, as part of your bond conditions, I guess, is wearing that bracelet. Were you allowed to go anywhere in the state, or were you supposed to stay in Letcher, or could you go to Pikeville? What do you remember?
I could go in Kentucky, but I always had to get permission for anything. If you walked outside that door, you get permission. I was not supposed to catch any more charges. I caught 3 charges, which was driving. When I say that, because I've been fighting for my license forever.
So you got 3 while he was supposed to be monitoring you, taking your bracelet on and off, you caught 3 more charges.
Yeah, 3 driving charges.
You remember what the charges were?
Driving on with no license or something like that. And then one time I had 500 rounds on me, I think, and they caught me with,
Possession. And that was in Letcher, or was
and
it?
there's a Pike.
So Pikeville.
Yeah, that was the time I told you they hollered down in the pod and asked me where my bracelet was, and I told him it was home on the couch. It was like I swear sometimes I listen to it, and I'm like, this can't be real. It makes me crazy here. Let's give it just a minute.
Ben would always meet her after hours. So whenever they met, it was in the judge's chambers after the courthouse done closed. So there wasn't anybody. Remember, Ben Fields worked in the jail for 10 years downstairs before he ever started doing house arrest and became a bailiff. So he worked as a guard in the jail right along with them all for 10 years before Mickey ever even became sheriff. So these people had about 15 or longer years working together very, very, very closely. They all knew each other. That's why Ben got such preferential treatment whenever he got his sentence. He had already worked in that jail. I mean, he could just feel like he had 6 months worth of overtime. He'd been there, worked there for so long. Him and his wife. His wife worked there too. She didn't get her promotion and go from a county employee to a state employee with full benefits until after Ben kept his mouth shut and did his 6 months. sentence. It's a pretty good incentive, wasn't it? I wonder how much money they got in their bank account.
Okay, now.
Yes. Here we go. Let's answer this question. And why did Ned do such a bad job on the lawsuit? He is not out for justice. He is running for election, right? That's exactly right. After he went on his media tour all about this case, talking all about this case for a year or 6 months to a year, then he decides he's going to run for Congress, and he's going to run against Hal Rogers. All he did was jumpstart his campaign off of this lawsuit. That's what I think he did. He saw an opportunity. Oh, yeah, so you saw an opportunity. That's what I think he did. And remember, the judge wasn't dead. The judge was still in full power at this time. He was the state's golden boy. He was running the pilot program for the state with all this, the Senate Bill 90 program, the rehab stuff. And it was all money. And they were all making out like bandits. Every one of them. They were all benefiting. And the more people that they could get to go to rehab, the more money they all made. Every one of them. Even Preacher Man, which, you know, that's one of the things that just ticks me off so bad. He got paid. This was his job. And the only job he had was when a judge would court order somebody to rehab. He'd get them a bed, coordinate the bed, coordinate supply and demand. They needed a trafficker to be able to put this whole human trafficking system into place. Well, honey, who better to get and pardon but somebody who can become a preacher overnight? They needed a preacher. Well, honey, he became one.
Mm-hmm. And she said, I don't know if they had a sexual relationship or whatever, but there was some, you know, something. And then she went to jail right after that. And Ben's wife, you know, was sergeant. And Ben's wife beat the crap out of her, and she had to pull 90 days over it.
So she's talking about a girl who Ben slept with. His wife found out about it, and she was, you know, like a sergeant. She was one of the lead supervisors at the jail. Go figure. She found out about it, and when the girl had to come to jail, allegedly, Angie beat her up real bad. And then the girl ended up having to pull 90 days in jail. So not only did she get beat up, but then she also got 90 days in jail under Angie. So, You're going to beat me up as I come into jail, and then I'm going to have to sit under you for the next 90 days. The violations of civil rights, the multiple, I've told you, I see some of the biggest civil cases coming that this country's ever seen before. I've been saying it. This is organized crime on the same level as the New York Mafia. Oh yeah, if not bigger. But it has been woven into the fabric of our community through generations of crooks, through generations of dirty politicians, coal mine owners, and business owners. Anybody that had a hand in any of this that benefited financially, they're involved in my eyes. But who am I? You know, I'm just a little old girl with a YouTube channel. I sure ain't no policeman. I sure ain't no prosecutor. I sure am no lawyer. But if we can't have a proper court of law in Eastern Kentucky, in Letcher County, then we will just have a proper court of public opinion. Everybody will know. At least we will all know. In a court of law, a lot of things don't come in. A lot of stuff gets through out. It's not relevant. Well, in our court of public opinion, it's all relevant. Everything comes in.
You know this person,
I made her at the jail.
but you don't know her enough to say you can call me or.
Well, yeah, I'm not enough to say that. Yeah, I got her phone number. The day she got out, she hadn't been out long. She had messaged me on Facebook.
Do you think you could get her to call me if she has something she wants to say?
Yeah.
You know, we're willing to listen to anybody. And
Well, she was wanting to. She said, you know, give her my name. She said, you know, this place is dirty, and it is. You know, it's. And what's really funny, like city police and Papa, nobody knows that. They're like, it's a dirty county, and I'm like, well, then why ain't somebody done something about it before now?
well, if you could get up with her, and if you want to pass my number, you still got my card,
I
right?
do. Well, I left it with him. Can I have another one? I'm left with A1.
Now, I want you to listen to what he says to her right here. She gave his card. He gave her his work card, you know, with his name and his number on it. He gave that to her earlier, and she gave it to the girl, to another victim, because he wasn't there, right? So whenever she had spoken to this other victim, she passed his card along to that other girl. So just now she asks him for another card for her. Listen to what he says to her. Like, I do not like this man. I don't like this man at all. And I am just livid that somebody like this has such a good salary, has such a good job. I don't even want to see his house. I don't even want to see his house because it would just make me vomit, probably. That somebody like this who could do such a thing. Seems to be so blessed. But you know what? The devil can make us feel like we are blessed. The devil make us feel like it's coming from God, and it ain't. Listen to this.
Wonderful. My Lord and his wife has really have faith in me and gave me a second chance because I don't have family. And he sees how hard I struggle, you know, and he's seen all that was going on. He's like, nobody will believe you. And we had, the judge called him the other day and said, you know, I'm really sorry since I hate that you went through all this.
What judge?
Judge Hall, Keith Hall.
From Pike County.
But you don't know anything about why the judge, his name has got brought up in this. You don't know anything.
Now, she just got done telling him that she saw a video of the judge having sex with a girl for her charges. Then this man stands there and says, you don't know why the judge's name's been brought into this, do you? I mean, I don't know how she didn't start to feel fear for her life while she was talking to him. Because you can see how he was basically telling her to take back what she was saying. She wasn't catching on to it in the long run. But if you'll hear her initial reaction, like she doesn't even wait a second before she says anything. She's like, right, right, right. And I'm sure she wasn't expecting what he was saying to be coming out of his mouth. I am just in such shock that he would do that. And how can you see it any other way?
You're just hearing rumors.
Hearing rumors.
How much longer, when you got caught for the Pikeville charges, did the escape charge come out?
So I got arrested, I think, in last August, and again in October, and then this last time.
This is Detective Matt Easter. Guess how many cases in Eastern Kentucky that this man has investigated? A ton. I wouldn't trust this man on any case. I wouldn't trust him to find my bicycle. Absolutely not. And if I had a case where if I had any kind of case that he was involved in, I would demand a new investigator or a second opinion, a second look. I don't even know what you can do. I don't even know how you do. You know, you remember that investigator, that Commonwealth investigator who shot the black boy, him and his son and his neighbor? They all three chased the black boy down the road in Georgia. He was running, and I think he had entered a construction site. There was a house in the neighborhood, that guy's neighborhood, that was under construction, and I think the boy had walked in on that property or something. He hadn't done nothing. I forget his name. One of you all will say it, though. I know you will. Aubrey. Anyway, they chased that boy down, and he was an investigator for the prosecutor's office. And they chased him down with a truck. The son was driving, and the dad was in the back, riding over top of the top of the truck with his pew-pew. I mean, it looked like a lynching in the Old South. That's exactly what it looked like. They chase him down the road, and then their neighbor decides to jump in his car, and he's driving, and this kid is running down the street. He's just jogging. And they go to cut him off, and the boy goes around him, and then the guy comes around. And so he starts fighting with the guy, and they shoot him and kill him. He dies in the street. Guess what? They just automatically, because he was an investigator for the prosecutor's office, they just automatically, he wasn't, they weren't in no trouble at all. None. Zero. The prosecutor even took up for him. The prosecutor, I don't even know what all they did, but they took up for him and they got themselves in a lot of trouble. Well, once there was enough attention on the case and enough people saw the video, it's all on video. Once enough, Ahmaud Arbery, thank you, Miss Mary. Once enough people saw the video, there was such outrage that this investigator had not been arrested, him and his son, and the neighbor, who, if he would have just kept his nose out of it, he wouldn't be in prison for the rest of his life. But no, he had to jump right on that bandwagon. He sees two men chasing, his neighbors chasing a little black boy down the street. Let me jump in my car and try and catch him too. I'll run him off at the corner. I'll cut him off at the corner. Yeah, they cut him off all right. Well, that ain't no different. It's no different. This investigator, what he did, it should be criminal. What he did should be criminal, because look at what it affected. It affected the criminal case and the criminal investigation against Ben and everybody else. There should have been an investigation into the judge, Mickey Steins, the preacher man. There should have been an investigation into every person in that courthouse that would be considered a higher up. There definitely needs to be an investigation into the jail and the entire administration under Bert and Brian Sloan. They could go back even further than that if they wanted to. But I think that we can see a drastic decline in leadership from the McCall administration to the Sloan administration. And now they think that they just own it. Like it's their property. They are entitled. This is theirs. All theirs. I cannot wait until a new election happens, and hopefully enough people, new people that are not connected to any of these people will run. And I'll make you a deal. If we get enough people to throw their name in the hat, I'll throw mine out there too. I'll run for something. I don't know what yet, but I'll put my name out there if you guys will put yours. I'll put my name in the hat if you put yours in the hat. We got to have more than just one person on the ballot for every single position. We need more choices. And we need to stop letting these people run unopposed. I know that there's like the prosecutor. You have to be an attorney to be able to run for that position. But all these other positions, honey, you don't even have to be trained in the medical field to run for the coroner position. So somebody run for that too. We will organize it, and which it won't be me because I suck at organizing. But we'll get somebody that can organize it, and we'll get her going, honey.
Oh, wow.
So the last time that you got arrested while you were out on bond was in October?
Yes.
And then when did the escape charge come out?
January. You know, I was called, faxed over paperwork. Judge Keith Hall called. I had Zoom court. You know, never was I trying to escape. Talked to the clerk's office.
Did Ben ever have to fill out any paperwork for you? Or?
There should have been a victim's advocate at these interviews. They should have had a victim's advocate at this interview, sitting right there beside of her, listening to every bit of it. That's what I think. Now, I don't know if a victim's advocate is allowed to do that, but I don't know why. I think that they should have one, because there should have been somebody else there witnessing this to make this not be able to happen. You know, like, you ought to have some checks and balances to where, I think so anyway. I think they should make them send a victim's advocate to protect the victims, because all he did was re-victimize her. Like, I think this is just, it's unexcusable. I can't even think of the word that it is, but it should be a criminal violation to purposefully manipulate an investigation from the inside to tank it. How is that not? That should be criminal. We've got a case. Somebody's been sending me some stuff, some caca. Somebody's been sending me some stuff, some cases, some old cases. I guess it would be case law. And so in the state. So one of the cases that they sent me, they charged the Pike County prosecutor. They charged one of the judges. This was decades ago, but I'm trying to think of the word that they charged him with. Not dissent, but something like that. Something like dissent. But they charged him with a lot, like organized crime. We're going to read that case, not tonight because we've already been on here so long, but we're going to learn.
Right when you got out of jail?
Yeah, and the first time, like, you have to meet him every Wednesday, I think at 4:00, you're supposed to. The first Wednesday, you know, he filled out paperwork.
But do you know any other paperwork after that?
No.
Do you know what the name of that company that does that is?
No, I really don't.
You were just told to meet Ben.
Yeah, I was just told to meet Ben. And then Patty, I know that there's a lady named Patty that works with him. And, you know, she had told me I would not talk to Ben no more. And then just disappeared. I said, you don't have to worry about calling her. I was like, oh.
Right.
I was like, how do you cover that? How do I just disappear? You know?
What did he say?
He said, don't worry about it. That's all he said.
Okay. Well, I will probably be giving you phone calls from time to time as I look into this further, because I'm sure I'm going to have more questions, more information. And then
Yep.
So if you see my phone number obviously pop up, I'll give you the phone call at the 233-6747. Do you have voicemail?
I do.
So if I can leave voicemail.
Yeah.
Because I got a good feeling that I'm going to think of something.
Right.
That you know.
You're like me, I forget things.
A follow-up question.
Can I have another card, please?
Another?
Listen.
Thank you.
You're going to run me out of business cards.
Yes.
He said, "You're going to run me out of business cards." She had asked him for that, 10 minutes ago? And he didn't give it to her. So she asked him again. And he said, "You're going to run me out of business cards." She just got 2 from him. I mean, and I realize that that's just a small thing. I don't mean to pick everything apart. But I do that because that's what they're so used to doing. They all will just talk real fast and they just move right on along. That nobody stops and says, "Wait a minute, what did you just say? Hold up, whoa, 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 whoa. Wait a minute. Stop the presses. What did you just say?" Nobody does that. And so they just talk their way out of everything. They're so used to nobody stopping them and holding them to what they say. You see what I'm saying? They just talk their way right out of everything and nobody ever asks any questions. There's never any kind of challenge. So, they're used to just saying whatever sounds good. Whether it's right or legal, that doesn't matter. It don't matter. Because who's going to do anything? Nobody.
Do you think I have any concern, for my safety or anything? I know being alone, when this first started, which he was bad. But then there's a little boy that said something. And so, my son and ex-husband, and the magistrate was like, she better be careful. She's dealing with a dangerous game.
I don't know who.
That magistrate up there. Now, I don't know which magistrate she's talking about, but I do know that Kenny Anderson likes to say a lot of threats. He likes to tell people, she better be careful. She better watch herself. But he doesn't say it in a concerned way. No, he does that with me all the time. Him and his wife both. They'll tell anybody that'll listen that I better watch myself, that I better watch and be careful because something bad's going to happen to me. Now, they probably did that with Sabrina too. Now, I don't know which magistrate she's talking about, but she just said magistrate, didn't she? Do you think she would have picked up on that at that time? I think she would have. Because I also am aware that Mickey Steins himself, whenever this lawsuit first got filed and came out, I've heard that it came out of his mouth that these women might get the money, but they'll never live to spend it. Well, look at Jennifer Hill. She never even lived long enough to see the lawsuit through. And after she died, the criminal charges on Ben were dismissed. Now, there's another victim from Letcher County who went to a hotel. She went into hiding months ago. And she went to a motel or a hotel with someone that she trusted very, very much. Said she trusted them with her life. And they shot her up so full of dope that she should have died. And then they left her there to die. But she didn't die. She lived. And she's terrified for her life. And she's still in hiding. She's even in more hiding now. She thought she was going into hiding with someone who she trusted. But it looks like they took her to her death. She won't tell who the person was that she trusted. with her life who almost took it. That's a very scary thing. And with so much corruption and so much risk in Letcher County right now with victims and perpetrators, you would think that some form of law enforcement would care, that somebody somewhere that took an oath, that wears a badge, would care about the syndicate that has taken over this part of our state. You would think that someone would care somewhere. But is their political career more important than these victims? Because that's what we're seeing. Every single one of these politicians, their career and their social status is more important than calling these crooks out, than calling people like the preacher, people like DD, who you have to remember was a licensed practicing attorney. Not just that, he's also been the master of whatever, where he was responsible for setting all of the property sales on the courthouse steps. He did that. Plus he was over family court for decades. How many families and people's lives do you think his morals, values, and ethical behavior have touched? I should say unethical behavior has touched. How many people have been on the losing end of his judgment? And nobody has said a word. Everybody just stood back and let it happen, because as long as they didn't have to go in front of him, as long as their children were safe, nobody else has mattered, because they had to have their job. I want my job. I wanted a job too, but I never did get one. I couldn't sell my soul to the devil. I never got the opportunity. I'm glad. I'm very glad. You know what I do best? Monday morning quarterbacking. This is the most important job I could ever have, is being able to bring awareness to all of these things that we have been witness to for decades now. All of the victims and those people that have been affected and have been touched by this misconduct, now they can come forward. Now somebody will listen. And it's not going to be somebody like this crooked ass Matt Easter. It's going to be the people, the actual community members, the actual voters will now get the truth. So now everybody can make an educated decision whenever it comes time for election time. They will have the tools to make the most educated decision for themselves.
You know, I never have anybody I've talked to. I don't want to say you're safe or you're not safe,
Right.
because I can't be responsible for you.
Right.
I can say that nobody, the only person that I would know that probably knows that we're going to discuss a talk with you,
Yep.
is the assistant county attorney
Okay.
in Letcher.
Okay.
That's it.
Okay.
You know, Justin, who's present here, he's a
The assistant county attorney in Letcher. I wonder who that was. The assistant county attorney would have either been Nick Whitaker, our new judge, our new district judge, or it would have been Michael Watts. And I don't think anybody else was working as assistant county attorney. And why would he say the assistant county attorney? This is the attorney general's office. I guess because it would have to go. Well, no, because if he gets indicted, then that doesn't even go to the county attorney. That goes upstairs to the Commonwealth attorney. I'd love to know who the assistant is that he's talking about. If anybody knows that little piece of information, send a little birdie over this way. Who was the assistant that was
Detective
working?
with us. And the guy that was with me the other day is a detective with us. So we don't tell anybody
Right.
that you even have talked to
I'm
us.
sure Mike's husband said, they're just worried because I'm not afraid. At first I was.
If you have told somebody, then it got out.
Right.
But I feel confident that the assistant county attorney is not going to say anything. And he
There was a
doesn't.
little boy that messaged me from over there that I didn't say that to. And he's like, I was offered $500 for information from you or something like that. And I was like, about what? And that's the only reason why I'm asking.
So what's the boy's name?
Justin Lucas, which is the boy that Ben warned me about. Hold on,
Said that he.
I'll tell you exactly what he said. He's in writing. And like I told my son, I've run from things long enough, and it's time that, I stand up for myself.
Justin what?
Lucas.
Justin Lucas.
Uh-huh.
And so he said that somebody's offered him $500 for.
I see. Let's see what he said.
Get scrolled down there. I'll get my picture taken here.
Okay.
Hey, is this the start of the conversation?
Yeah.
I don't guess I had this the other day then on your phone, did I?
Well,
Since I had your phone.
right, I'm sure you didn't overlook
So,
it.
is anything else there?
No, that's really it.
So let me see here if we got this right. I got it. He says, hey, I just got offered $500 for info I got.
Oh, right here. Apparently somebody in the Angie family, his wife said is. Angie's real close family.
So this boy, the Lucas boy, sent her a message and said, hey, I was just offered $500 for this information I got. And that's what he just read, was that message off of her phone. And it was supposedly came from Angie's family. So that would be Ben's wife.
And I lied to him I got married because he knows I live in a big old house by myself and it's kind of secluded. So I was like, I got married.
Now, let's just let me go over some text here. So it looks like he says, hey, I just got offered $500 for info I got. You're saying what info? Lord, I'm thinking about doing it. It's $500. What are you talking about? By the way, I got married. Married to who? So, and then he goes on and says, see, I had a whore down here. I like always pass out Xanaxes, letting her use my phone. So I don't understand what he's.
I don't understand the information that, because he knew, everybody knew it was common knowledge that, being done that. You go over there, with me and several other people, it was common knowledge. So I don't know what information he's talking about, but.
Because he's not saying he's wanting he's wanting to pay him $500. he doesn't say to find information on you.
Right.
It really doesn't say what it does. It? Do you?
Let me see.
It says the guest seeing you on my
I thought it
messages
said
looks
that.
and see a lot about Ben.
Well, I mean, he didn't say me in particular. We're thinking about doing 500 married to who? Your picture. What are you talking about? When he kept telling me to type in, Ben's name, and I finally did, and I didn't see nothing besides this right here. I don't know what he was talking about.
I'm not for sure.
Me either. At one point, he said he was having an affair with Ben's wife. So I don't know.
Like I said, I don't.
He said he was having an affair with Ben's wife. There have been a lot, allegedly, of men who have slept with Ben's wife at the jail, and other supervisors, allegedly, at the jail. Many people have told it, even Bradley. Bradley said that there was a closet that the female guards would take them in and have sex with them in the closet. Sarah even said that the supervising female guards would take the male inmates in the closet that had to have a key. I mean, I don't know how many more times this detective needs to be told. But you see, it doesn't matter how many times they tell him that. He just turns right around 2 seconds later and says, "Oh, but you don't know, do you? Oh, but you don't know. Oh, but you don't know, do you? You're going God's work. Oh, may the Lord's light shine in all the dark places, and may all the perpetrators be brought to his justice, pleading the blood of Jesus over you and all victims. Stay courageous." Thank you, darling. Thank you, thank you, thank you. In Jesus' name.
I don't know these people.
Right.
And I'm just now getting involved, so I have no information. Nobody's told me what people I've talked to says that, you're in danger or anything like that. I can't give you any.
Well, that's fine. I told my son I would ask, so he'd feel better.
Well, like I said, I can't answer that whether you're safe or you're not safe, because I can't be there to protect you. But I do not at this time have any information to say otherwise.
Okay.
And as far as you meeting over here, if you don't tell anybody,
I don't tell anybody.
then, like I said, the only person that, and would be he knows the county attorney has actually gave us your name to somebody that we would need to talk to. That other than that, so he knows that a conversation is going to take place at some point. But I feel confident he's not going to say anything. The Commonwealth attorney is not even, we have a prosecutor that's assigned to this case, and she's out of Frankfurt. So the prosecutor's not even from around here either. And, everything else people that's been with me has been in-house.
The prosecutor was from Louisville and wasn't from around here, but Ben still only got 6 months in jail. So you know as well as I do that the prosecutor and the judge who were over Ben's case were absolutely involved in the leniency that he got. No way should he have gotten 6 months, and that's it, and was allowed to serve it in his own jail under his own wife. No way. That would have not happened in no other corner of the world. So I don't care. That judge and prosecutor may as well have come from Timbuktu, but they still did what Judge Mullins wanted them to do. Judge Mullins was not dead. Remember, Judge Mullins was very much alive, in power, and in control at this time. And they were all trying to keep him
That
safe.
works for the Attorney General, so, so nobody else.
Yeah, he just, wanted to ask, and I wanted to double check, because I am ashamed of this, but, I'm kind of not. I'm kind of glad that it's out.
Well, I mean, as this gets out and we start talking, obviously, people's going to say stuff. At some point, we'll probably have to talk to Ben, and
I'd run.
It's
I
all
swear I
over Letcher
would.
County papers and stuff, So I've had phone calls and
I don't think the secrets got out when your civil attorney filed a civil lawsuit. That kind of put a damper on how we do things. 'Cause it's not secretive, obviously.
I know. When I left here and went home, I seen that civil suit, and I was like, "Oh my God," because I hate all of it. I wish I could just change it all.
But like I said, I don't know if I hear anything that's would be concerning about you. I'll definitely tell you. I wouldn't want but I don't know anything. I can keep you aware of some stuff that we're doing. But we do some stuff. We try to keep it as low as we can because it helps us accomplish what we need. So,
and I'm trying to get back to live a normal life a little bit. That's
understand that.
So,
well, this process won't be a quick one. I'm sure a criminal investigation is a long, drawn-out process.
So what happens next? You'll be investigating, and if you have any questions,
I'll call you.
Yes.
And then once I compile the investigation and we think we've done all we can do and talk to everybody we can talk to, then it'll go to a prosecutor, although a prosecutor will be on board with me throughout this. And then, of course, it's ultimately up to her what she thinks she can see and what, she'll make some decisions and then, like I told you before.
Well, see if somebody can find out what the prosecutor's name was. I want to know who that female prosecutor was from Louisville over Ben's case. Should be very easy to find. Just Google it and it'll tell us. I want to talk to her. I'd love to talk to her and ask her some questions. Oh, I would love to talk to her. I'd sure send her an email. Y'all find out who she is. Let me know. I'm gonna
Or if
send her
there's
an
something
email.
there, then it will go to a grand jury. If not, sometimes the case will go to a grand jury and they don't do anything. And sometimes the case is not even worth going to a grand jury, but that's a prosecutor will look at that. And they're the ones that decide, that knows the laws and that stuff. And like I told you, the prosecutor is out of Frankfurt office, so it's not a local prosecutor. You can have confidence in, if whatever happens, it'll be just straight up as it possibly could be. There will not be any local politics
real
involved.
careful,
BS.
and the judge, Ketal, actually was bragging on you. So he was a good guy, and I said he seemed to be.
I don't know.
Don't you? He used to be the county attorney in Pike County.
I've had a couple of cases in Pike County with the Commonwealth attorney up there.
Mm-hmm.
The old Commonwealth attorney, he's not even there anymore.
I don't know.
Keith Bartley.
Oh, okay. I don't know. He, when I mentioned your name, and
I may have met him.
right.
I don't know.
and me and Keith, our kids went to school together, so that's. And he was like,
I can't say that I've not met him because I work in a lot of counties, so I may have. I may see him. Huh?
He said you're in good hands because he knows how nervous I was, and
Well, yeah, our office will do. It like I told you yesterday or the other day. It is what it is.
Right.
That's the way it is. We look at it. It doesn't make any difference if you're the Pope or you're a drug addict. What you have told me, obviously I have to corroborate stuff. It doesn't matter if you was a drug dealer or the Pope tell me. I still got to do that. It's all the same.
and I appreciate that.
And what you've told me, I'm going to do my best to corroborate and work with it.
No, he didn't.
You know, once I get in this, like I said, may not find anything, may not find anybody else to talk to. But we'll just have to kind of see what develops. It's at the onset now. So
Now,
I don't know.
Bethany said something about 4 girls had went to the jail and said the same thing was going on. And she said, I'm getting a bunch of calls.
Well, I will tell you, we're hearing the same stuff. What you're saying is, you know, this person, but when we're having a hard time getting hold of those people.
He said, they're not scared. I don't blame them.
Well, I mean,
And if they're not, like he was asking her to do his job, can you get a hold of him? Can you get that video for me? I mean, okay, I get it. Trying to get her to help with that, but the way that he said it and the way that we see, they didn't do a damn thing. If Sabrina didn't have the evidence that she had herself, they weren't going to do anything. They got all these phone records, bank records. They got all that stuff. They've got a ton. He just stood there or sat there for the last hour, kind of cutting down everything that she said. Like she sat there and just gave him Judge Mullins pretty much. But he turned around every time she'd say something and shut it down. So you don't really know why Judge Mullins is even being mentioned, his name, do you? After she just got done sitting there telling him for the last 30 minutes. How can they get away with this? And this recording is part of a public freaking record. So that means anybody and everybody and their brother has access to this. But all of the top cops in Kentucky, in the state of Kentucky, think this is acceptable. The only office that I'd run for would be the governor's office. I'm telling you, I'd run in a heartbeat. Because I'm convinced that I could absolutely revolutionize Kentucky's Medicaid by completely doing away with the counseling on the Suboxone, completely at the medically assisted treatment program. They could use, since they went out and did the peer supports, they can use peer support, replace that, and get it back to normal. Well, I don't know about normal, but take away that incentive for fraud. Completely take it away. That's what I would do. I would do everything in my power to completely redo Letcher County. I don't know what options would be available, but I would totally redo them. Everybody's gone. We're going to appoint all new people. I'd do some firsts, I tell you. Some things that had never been done before.
Go over in Letcher County. I've not been back, and I have to go the day.
The thing about it, at this point, there's nothing to be really scared of, because if you come forward and tell me your story, they can't do anything to you. You know, if Ben calls you and says, you know, if you talk or something,
Right.
what you need to do is if Ben starts to call you or does something, you need to record the conversations. You need to get your other phone and hit record, put it on speakerphone where we can
Right.
hear what the conversation's about. And then after the conversation, next phone call, you need to be to me.
Right.
And if anybody threatens you because you're trying to be a witness, there's charges that we can send out on them to do that. Nobody can intimidate a witness. That's against the law. And I assure you, if I call the prosecutor at any given time and say, hey, our witness somebody's intimidating her, and there's evidence of that, she will seek warrants quickly.
Really?
It won't, we're not gonna let anybody.
Really? You mean like the two times that Pikeville police has arrested Sabrina in the last 6 months? That's not retaliation and intimidation? And they keep arresting her for shoplifting. Now, she told me that the first one that they charged her with, she said, I wasn't even close to the door. I wasn't even at the door. But they still charged her. She was in the store. And they charged her with shoplifting. This last time, I think they just charged her again with shoplifting like a week or two ago. I don't know the circumstances under that, but it seems to me like she's being targeted. That's what it seems to me. I mean, unless you show me some video proof of Sabrina trying to stash something in her pocket or in her purse or something, you would have to prove it to me, because I don't believe it. I think she's being targeted. I think they're trying to intimidate her using the only tools in their toolbox. And I don't think it's fair. Look at what Matt Butler did to Tasha. They've got her on 5 more years probation or parole. I don't even know what it is. But I know it was a felony charge. So if it was a felony charge, she's got some serious paper that she's going to have to walk now. And I'm very suspicious of that indictment. That was retaliatory. No way, no way, no way was that job not pressured to press those charges. I just don't believe it. You would have to show me video of Tasha stealing for me to believe it. I don't believe it.
Right.
My biggest fear is to end up back in a jail. I mean, that.
But now, if you don't break the law,
Right.
but now if you get out and get wild and start driving,
Right. Exactly.
You're on your own.
Right.
But
It's
if
just like.
nobody's gonna be able to trump charges up on you. I mean, we're past that.
Right. Now.
Nobody can trump charges up on you, but yet Ben Fields put an escape charge on her, and Jimmy Kraft sure sent out that warrant on her, didn't he? She still got taken back to jail. She said in one of the audios that we're going to listen to tomorrow, she doesn't even know why she's in jail. He goes and talks to her in jail. I don't know if it's her or Jennifer. One of them is in jail. And he goes and talks to her in the jail. And he says, she tells him, I was picked up on the 1st of the month. She tells him whatever the date is. And I did the math on it after I listened to it. And she had been in there about 2 or 3 weeks. And she had been picked up on a warrant out of Letcher County. And they were holding her, I think it was in Pike County. And she still had not even seen a judge. Didn't know why she was there. I guess it maybe was a drug court sanction, maybe, or something like that. But she tells him, when he comes there to talk to her, she tells him, I don't know why I'm here. Can you please, can you help me? No, he don't help her. He does not help her. He does not go find out why she's in jail. Now, this interview that we're listening to now, she wasn't in jail. Oh, they can't trump no charges up on you now. We're way past that bullshit. Don't ever believe none of these people. Don't ever believe any of them, because this guy is so full of hot air, he ought to be flying around the damn atmosphere somewhere.
More press it, it's like that escape, that blew my mind.
Of course, the problem with the escape is we need to look at, and I just don't know, is it because of the circumstances, or is it, it's just,
You don't know
we
what
just
to
have to
say.
kind of see.
Right.
I don't think anybody's going to go get another escape warrant on you. I'm fairly certain that's not going to happen.
Right. God, no, I hope not.
But
And that cost it escape too. I mean, escape? What are you talking about?
let me take a picture of that
I
bracelet.
said, here's my bracelet.
He
I don't want it.
changes the
I don't either. It's right with
Yeah.
I looked at that. It's a good reminder, but I'm going to give it to Nate, I think, or I don't know. Hopefully he'll take it because I don't want it.
in the dryer.
Is there lights that light up on it?
Normally, yes.
On the bottom here when it's working?
Yes.
You can't turn it on and off.
Well, I have a charger. He didn't get a charger with it.
But could you have turned it on and off yourself?
Oh, no.
Once it's activated, it's active.
It's active, yeah.
And the one time you said you cut it off?
Yeah.
How did you cut it off?
So I take scissors and cut it. And I did. He was busy doing something, and I was going to Lexington to see my nephew, one of my nephews, right after the other one died. And he kept making me in. He said, just take scissors and cut it.
And then you ended up giving that back to him, and then he gave you another one. Is that on any kind of messages, or was that a voice phone call? Can you remember?
I think it was a voice call. There might have been some text messages that somebody had turned off my iCloud, and some of my messages didn't get saved from the past. So,
All right. Any other questions for me?
no, I don't think so.
You got both your phones?
With my phones and my bracelet, and it seems crazy, don't it? Like,
I've seen crazier.
maybe, okay.
Yeah.
Well, good. Thank you, and
Yeah.
I appreciate it. I really do.
You're very welcome. And like I said, like I told you the other day, we'll do our very best to see what's going on. I mean, that's all we can do, but I can assure you that it will be done thorough and done right. And, so you don't have to, as local town stuff, doesn't play a role in this. So.
So I tell people, and everybody just like that was normal. And I'm like, this is not normal. I know it can't be.
No,
But thank you, I appreciate it.
you're welcome. I will, like I said, if you have any questions, feel free to give me a call. If I have questions, I'll probably be calling you.
I'm gonna call and
See if she wants to, if she's got information, you can, meet and give my phone number, and I'll call her, meet and talk to her, or talk to her on the phone, whatever we need to do.
I'm gonna try to get a hold of Chad while I'm over there.
Let me know.
All right, thank
Thank
you.
you. Today's date is February 10th, 2022. It's 10:52.
February 10th, 2022 was when that interview was done. I'm gonna jump over here at, actually, I guess that's it. So this was one of the attachments, and it was their Facebook business record. They redacted a lot of this stuff. I've got 2 different versions. This one was part of a public record before it was all said and done, before the sentence, Ben's sentence was done. After his sentence was completed, then they took all these redactions off. So I've got 2 different versions of this. This just happens to be the redacted one. And you see it redacted a whole bunch of them here. Let's see. All right. Oh. Pull up the other one. BB. What did I do with it? Let me see which one of them it's in here. Oh. Let me see if this one's it. Yep. All right, I found it. Okay. Can you see it? All right. So this was all redacted on that other one that we were just looking at. So here we're going to look down at some of their messages, the work messages. So this one's from Mickey. And I'm just going to pick a spot here and start reading. I told you that they are very immature. A lot of the things that they say back and forth, it just seems like they're a bunch of kids in a locker room or something. It's very unprofessional. Just okay. I don't even know where to start. There's so much. All right, let's go up here. I mean, look, I don't even know where to start. Look there, there's Deputy Fields looking like a big snack, ain't he? Okay. Jackie Paulson. I see they make fun of people on here. Just doing my job. There's Jason Eccles. He's one of the ones that is named in the lawsuit that the judge's wife just filed. Let's start there. Lexi Stambaugh at the time, She's a little old girl that they had hired on at the sheriff's department. They've only had a couple women that worked there. She didn't stay very long. Lexi didn't stay very long. She's not the same Lexi that we talk about that's got the video. Lexi Stambaugh was a pretty young little girl. She was real young, and she was real pretty. But I think she left and went to Pike County, maybe the college even. But I heard she's still a police officer unless somebody else knows different. She says, so, what's up with the groundhog? And James Norris. Now, James Norris has been accused of, what do you call it? Tasing. James Norris has been accused of being a little trigger happy with the taser. Several people have told me that he has tased minors. He's tased people just kind of trigger happy on a taser. But so he responds and says, Jason 1015 to groundhog. Jason says, beat its ass. His days of terrorizing old ladies is over. Lexi says, also, what did Frenchie get arrested for? I'm behind on my mobile patrol. And he says, Pike County warrant. Mickey says, hey, Seth Whitaker, I think I can speak for us all. We love you and we are very sorry. Please, if you need anything, your work family is here for you. Prayers for you and your family. He must have had somebody pass away or something. And so they all go on about prayers. Christine Bolin says, we will still continue to pray for you all here if you or your family need anything. I love you. I think they were all on this group chat. So I don't think that this was just a few, specific ones. You're going to see that they're all on here. Even our now Sheriff Billy Jones. There he is. Love you, man. Seth Whitaker. Lexi. So they're all loving you, loving you. Do we have any extra vests besides in the back where the uniforms are? No. Anyone familiar with Jackie Polson or Chris Wood? And then James Norris sends an image. I guess it's this one. My buddy from Cumberland PD got her coming out of Letcher. The Chris dude jumped out of the car and took off. And then there's Jackie. Jackie Polson. If that's the same Jackie Polson that my oldest son, his dad dated a Jackie Polson in high school for years and years and years, but she was a real fancy pants. Jackie Polson from Cumberland. She was going back to Cumberland, so this might be the same Jackie. She was an awful big fancy pants back in the day, so that really surprises me. Nope, her Facebook photo looks pretty clean cut, but you never know about people. James, for real, she had that in the car. He couldn't get a total weight on it. It was Tupperware container full of meth. Tell him great job and we appreciate it. I told them I haven't ever heard of them. Yeah, I can't place them. Well, I can. Then there's the wonderful Whitesburg chief of police that many current and former police officers say he never should have been. Allegedly, Chief Tyrone was hired on part-time from what the story that I got He was hired part-time because they didn't have any employees. They didn't have anybody working at the time. They were short-handed, and they needed some new hires. Well, they said that they hired him on as part-time, and that the deal was he was supposed to drive the cruiser around and just be seen. He was not sworn in. He had not went to the academy. He did not have any training whatsoever. None. Not even on the job training. It was the day he got hired. So they allegedly gave him the keys to the cruiser and told him to go cruise around and just let the police car be seen. Do not pull anybody over. Do not arrest anybody. What does he do? He goes straight out, allegedly, and arrests somebody. Handcuffs them and everything. So, of course, this is an emergency situation. So as soon as they find out what he did, James Wiley Kraft, who was the mayor, the old man that married the 20-year-old current mayor, he takes, I don't know if it was him, but one of them takes him up to the clerk's office. I think they said it was after hours, if I'm not mistaken. It was like they were all, from what I was told, they were all in like emergency mode. All of them panicked out big time. And they took him up there and swore him in. And the guy who hired him then allegedly did all of the paperwork, because if it had come out and was known that he wasn't sworn in, he was not, that's like big time civil rights. You can't handcuff somebody and you not even a policeman. So, but that information, that little tidbit nugget, comes straight from a couple different current and former police officers. So, I don't know, but they call him behind his back the never should have been chief. James says even the chief of police wants to be a deputy. Look at him. From what I understand, Chief Tyrone is one of Daniel Dotson's best buddies. Him and his wife, Ashley. They're all real good friends. Ashley even got Daniel Dotson's office, and she got to keep his phone number. That is connected, honey. He looks like he's trying to be boss hog. He sure does, Jason. He sure does. Mickey sends it back with Deputy Fields 155. Ben Fields, the lady you picked up in Tennessee, did the judge give her a bond? Not that I know of. Her case is under Judge Coleman. Eddie Coleman, I told you, his name is very popular here. He's took a lot of the cases that people had to recuse and stuff like that. James, Mickey says, James, how was class and how was your day, Lexi? James says, just went over case law today and some human trafficking aspects of drug trafficking. Well, I bet that must have went just right over your head, didn't it, Deputy Norris? I see him at the ball games all the time. He wears these vests and puts his hands in there. But they act like they're some big people. Lexi says it wasn't bad. We did the baby Murph this morning. It wasn't terrible. Jason sent something. Status update. James Norris sends an attachment. Jason says, happened to me once. It was weird. Had to take the guy to jail though. So I don't know what that was. Barstool Sports. James Norris. James Eccles. Jason sends a photo. Not sure what that's supposed to be. Look at all these blisters. Oh, okay. I was wondering. I thought they may look like blisters. Ouch. Got it on both shoulders. Dumbass, where's sunscreen? I did. Not enough. What did they do to the kid today, Ben? Basically, he signed a waiver of extradition, and Georgia has 5 days to come get him. Jason, I figured they'd already come got him. I didn't know that a minor had to sign a waiver. Ben, yeah, apparently it's a lot like a regular fugitive from justice, except after they sign the waiver, they have to be picked up within 5 days. Jason sends another. Letcher County Opoly. Well, honey, that is just wonderful. Do you see that? Letcher County Opoly. That is really, really kind of witty. That's really smart. That's kind of something that's happening around here. Yeah, that's exactly what is happening in Letcher County. Property and real estate has become the new scam. It was first coal, that was all the big money. Then it became treatment and rehab. But now that everybody's catching on to that scheme, the last, since the first flood of 22, even probably a little bit before that, it started with Airbnb. Once everybody decided that they could buy property and put it on Airbnb, then they started looking into tourism, because the tourism nonprofit is just killing it. That's old Don and Missy Childers' baby, the tourism committee and the nonprofit. They get a lot of grants. They are they're partners in a lot of grants. They're big time connected to Jeffrey Justice and SOAR and the Whitesburg, you might as well say Whitesburg City Council, the fiscal court. They're all connected very, very much with money. It's all financial. And now they're all big partners in all these programs and these projects. And it's all moving towards real estate. Real estate, tourism, all this money that they're going to start sending in, like with the buyout program. There's $298 million that was supposed to be given or shared between like 3 counties. I don't even know how many counties. I think it was 3. Might have been another one, but I'm pretty sure it was 3. $298 million for housing. For housing. Where'd all that money go? Do we even know? And that wasn't all the money that was sent here. There was a whole bunch of money that was sent here. Millions and millions and millions. And it just keeps on getting sent. Letcher County Opoly. I love it. And what did it say up there? Contingency basis, honey. A fun game celebrating the gem of Eastern Kentucky. Pine Mountain, Whitesburg, Fish Pond Lake. Now, we love Fish Pond up here. It's a really, really great camping area. And fishing. My kids go up there. Well, Alan does. Jason, the courthouse is boardwalk. Mickey Steins, I'm going to get me one. Jason Eccles, they're $20. Mickey Steins, LOL. Pick me one up. Well, I know what we're playing Sunday. Well, don't know if I will get one or not. Sheriff's office is not even on it. Jason Eccles, the good old police station is. Mickey Steins, I wonder what they left on there redacted. Blank, we need to patrol this place some. Donna Mason has worked on this place and wants us to ride by when we can and sit in the driveway. Well, I don't know who Donna Mason is. Do any of you guys? I guess I should pull it away from the comments.
Oh my God.
Mickey says, Jason and Ben, if you're out, swing by if you can. Thanks. Jason unsent a message and sent an attachment. Mickey sent a photo. Amanda Ison, talk about a blast from the past. LMAO. Had a great day with an awesome friend. I just want you to know how proud I am of you, the man you've become. We all have troubled past and have been led astray, but we are strong and take our pain and turn it into power. Keep looking forward. Well, I don't know who Amanda Ison is or why. Yep, everybody's building up their Airbnbs. They'll be ready for their 15 minutes. Oops. Dang it. I didn't mean to do that. I accidentally hit the button. See, let me think in my brain where it was at. Wow. Well, guys, I'm just going to go ahead and end that one here. We'll finish it tomorrow. We'll look back on some more of it tomorrow. We done been on here 2.5 hours, and we got school tomorrow. So we'll just stop that right there. Boss Hog of Dukes of Hazzard. Thank you, Jesus, for another day being able to come together in your name, Lord. Today is the day that the Lord hath made, and I am so thankful for it, Lord. I'm so thankful for it. I will be glad in it. I love you, Jesus. I pray that you forgive me for my sins, Lord. I pray that you just keep working on me. Keep doing whatever it is that you got to do. I love you, Lord. I love you. So many people were having surgery today or had a doctor's appointment today, Lord, and we just pray. We pray for a complete and full healing for each and every person who needs one. We pray for the physical body, but for the most part, the spiritual body, Lord. I pray that you will just touch each and every heart that is hard and cold. I pray that the Holy Ghost gets in there and just breathes on their heart, Lord. Breathe on their heart. Make it pliable to where you can move it, to where you can knead it and get it where you need it, Lord. You know the heart of every single one of us. There ain't no fooling you. We can lie to everybody else, but we sure can't lie to you. I thank you, Lord, for all the lessons, for the knowledge and the wisdom that you've given me. I pray that you just keep your hand over me, Lord. I pray that you keep your light at my feet and that you continue me down the path that you want me to go on. Don't let me fall. Don't let me stray. Keep me on the narrow path. I love you. Until we meet again tomorrow, Lord, we give you all praise, honor, and glory. In Jesus' name, in Jesus' name. Amen. All right, guys, we will see you all tomorrow. Peace out, Girl Scout. Bye.
Can't hide from hillbilly crime. You can't hide from hillbilly crime. You may not know that there's a crew in town. The head hillbillies are making their rounds. Small town whispers loud and clear. The sheriff shot the judge in his chambers chair.
Sheriff got a secret he won't keep. Judge shot dead in his disbelief. A lot of people have some stories to tell. Dark pass away, get the sound of a shotgun shell.
All the secrets spill on down. Voices loud in this old town. From the courthouse to the ground. Rumors fly and they can't be bound.
Neighbors hide behind their blinds. Whisper tales of troubled minds. Skeletons covering the mountainside. A treacherous reality in the pines.
Winter reveals the hidden lies. Moonlight couldn't mask the cries. Shadows caught in sunlit skies. There's no cover, no disguise. All the sea